Hi, everyone, and welcome to my review of a new documentary from one of the most controversial individuals in the world. This is my movie review of Michael Moore's Where to Invade Next. This is a film that I've been interested to see for a while now because I find the man very fascinating, very interesting. Now, if you've come to watch this video watching me bash the man and totally agree and disagree and praise him and all that kind of stuff, either bash him or praise him or love him or hate him, you've come to the wrong place. I'm kind of neutral when it comes to him. He is extremely talented as a filmmaker. He is extremely talented as getting his message across. He's extremely talented at being manipulative and having a very fascinating, interesting point of view. Sometimes I see his point of view and I agree with it. Other times I'm questioning it and I'm just like, that's an interesting idea. I don't know if I totally agree, but I admire his work. I've seen most of his films. I would say I have progressed as a audience member with him. At first, I probably bought into more of his stuff with Roger and Me and Bowling for Columbine and Fahrenheit 9/11. But as time has gone on and watching his movies and just, growing up and trying to figure out this world for myself, I've seen it that he's taken facts and he's taken opinions and he's formulating his own opinion or his own perception of how he can make the world a lot better or make America better. As someone who doesn't really care about politics, especially in America, and find it all to be completely silly, I just look at him as someone who's just got an interesting point of view. Just like I would look at a friend who's maybe got a totally different point of view from Michael Moore. Again, I don't outright hate Michael Moore. I don't love him, but I like his as a filmmaker. And this one looked like it was going to be a different approach than what he's done in the past, where he's focused on Bush with Fahrenheit, focused on guns, focused on his hometown, and all this stuff. He was focusing on the world itself and how he feels that he can make an America, a much, much better place. So he goes and he invades a lot of countries from Italy, France, Germany, in Europe, and then he goes a little bit into Africa. It seems like he stays around there. He doesn't really go any farther than that. We never see him go to Australia. He does go to Iceland, but we never see him go to an Asian country, or I should say Japan or China, or he never goes to South America. He just stays kind of in there. Maybe the sequel, he's going to invade those parts of the country, parts of the world. So in this one, he's taking their ideas and he's saying, like, I'm going to invade this, I'm going to steal this idea and bring it back to America to make America a perfect place. America. As someone who loves America as much as anyone who loves where they grow up, as long as they're in a society that accepts them and believes in them and cares about their opinions and lets them have that opinion and let them be who they are, then I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'm friends all over the map. I've got friends who are conservative, and I got friends that are liberal. I'm kind of like, you're all crazy, I love you all, but I just can't see any of you. I can't really believe or agree with everything you have to say, but I admire it. I admire everything. So that's the same thing I can say with Michael Moore. I appreciate his ideas, that he would go on this adventure, take a film crew, and bring his personalities and sensibility, a sensibility and personality that I do like. I don't know if I'd love to hang out with the man. I think he would probably tell me everything I'm doing is wrong and try and change my opinion or say, oh, you're not doing it right, you should have this point of view. I don't want to be told what to do. And I don't want to tell you what to do. So, whatever your political affiliation is, perfectly fine with me. And if you hate Michael Moore or you love Michael Moore, that's cool too. Whatever, But as the movie went along, I felt it was a different kind of film from Michael Moore. It wasn't, it definitely has his scare tactics, and it definitely has his manipulation tactics as well. I just liked that, you'd visit these other countries and we'd kind of learn something. It almost felt like a little bit of a history lesson, somewhat, to how these countries work and how they deal with their school system and their prisons and just their way of life. And it's different from ours. Some things are similar, some things are different. I don't think that a lot of these ideas that he comes across on are going to change America that much. I don't even think this movie is going to change America that much. I appreciate the effort, Michael Moore, but honestly, I think the people that hate you are still going to hate you, and the people that love you are still going to love you, and we're just going to go on our merry little way until maybe the end of the world. Whatever. It's going to happen. I'm ready. Let's see it. But at the same time, let's at least enjoy as much as we can in this world that we can while we're here. And be good to people, be honest with people, be nice, be kind, and all that good stuff. I did like some of the things we discovered that happened in other countries. I think it was Norway, where they have this really weird setup of how they treat their prisoners. It's definitely different from what goes on in America, and that's where some of the scare tactics happen that I've come to really enjoy from Michael Moore, surprisingly. It's really interesting. Those films like Bowling for Columbine and Fahrenheit 9/11, they're very funny and very sad and very emotional. The way, he edits and stuff and manipulates you, it works. Those movies really worked on me and got me really emotional. Sometimes mad and sometimes concerned, sometimes questioning what was real and what was not, what he was presenting. Again, don't believe everything you see. Don't believe anything you hear. Try and, find out the facts on your own, and really in the end, you can only really believe yourself and your own surroundings. But anyways, this one came off just a little safe. Now, the movie is R-rated, and now that I've seen the film, I understand why it's R-rated, even though it's very tame when it comes to the language. There's some nudity and a little bit of violence. It's a tame R-rated, but it is R-rated, and I think it does deserve the rating. But as for Michael Moore, I think this might be his weakest movie when it comes to him challenging the audience. I felt like I wasn't really that challenged. I had a lot to think about. It gave me a lot to think about, a lot to ponder, a lot to go over. But I don't know how much it's going to resonate with me like his other previous films, like Fahrenheit 9/11. I know he was pretty much probably preaching to the choir because, again, that movie didn't change anything. George Bush still became president after all that success of Fahrenheit 9/11. And I don't know what's changed since, Bowling for Columbine. But I feel like this is the way Michael Moore wants to live his life, and he's going to do it until he dies. And a part of me is glad that he is around, because if we had one side the entire time, the opposite side of Michael Moore, in his opinion, the world would be a very boring place. Whether you agree with that crazy man, who cares? I mean, whatever your opinion is. But I enjoyed the film. I thought it was a good film, but not his best work. I liked some of the ideas that he brought up, some of the things that he focused on. But to me, it wasn't as challenging as an audience member as some of his previous films, especially the ones that I have mentioned in this review. So I think it's a good movie, something definitely worth checking out. It seems like Michael Moore put a lot of effort and hard work into it, and I'm just glad that he is back as a filmmaker. I'd rather see him as a filmmaker than him just somebody on the news as a talking head. To me, he's just born as the arguing with other talking heads that, again, you're not going to change my mind, I'm not going to change yours, so what's the point? But at least with the movie, he can have some fun, especially with the use of music and editing and all the tactics that you want to do when you are a documentary, when you want to get your point across. This movie's probably a lot of a one-sided opinion, Michael Moore's opinion, and what he's come across and the evidence that he has found. Again, I don't know what changes will happen because of it, and I doubt a lot of changes would. But there has been some things that he does talk about in the in the movie that have changed in America. So who knows? I mean, America is always changing. The world is always changing. Hopefully it changes for the better and not for the worse. So in the end, thank you for your time. I'm sorry if I rambled on. I'm sorry if I got a little political. I don't really try to because it's not a political place. Again, I don't really know much about that stuff anyways. It's all damn confusing to me. But when you talk about a movie that is heavily political or has some of that kind of subject matter, you're going to hint on that just a little bit. So again, thank you for your time. Let me give you my final rating of where to invade next. I'm going to give it a solid 3 stars out of 4.
Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and share this video. And also, please check out these amazing movie websites. And if you enjoyed this review, please click here to subscribe to my channel, and also please check out all my recent reviews right here on YouTube. Have a great day, live film, find peace, happiness, and harmony in anything and everything you do, and I'll talk to you at my next movie review.